Hi and good afternoon. My name is Hank Monague. I'm from Bosley First Nation. I am a very proud community member here in Chimnasing, and I've decided to run for Council of Chimnasing this year for a number of reasons that I think we'll have a good chance to talk about and a good chance to share, and something I'd like to really pursue. It's a goal of mine and a dream of mine to get into some sort of form of politics, especially within our community, and eventually moving up. Governance in our community seems to be something that's not lost, right? We have policies, procedures, things like that in place already that we already follow. I think that we need to really look at those and really work with what's already there, all right, and create, I guess, a better structure, a better framework for us to use in order to have governance work in our community. Like I said, it's not gone. It's not lost. It's something that we have already established within us traditionally, anyways, and it's something that we could build on. When it comes to a few community issues and community priorities like transportation, I look at what we have here. We're pretty unique in a few different ways, right? We do live on an island, and we are an island First Nation and an island community, and I wouldn't want to change that for anything that we have here. But I think a major upgrade and overhaul needs to be done to our transportation system. With the ferries themselves, right? They're getting quite old. I know the Indian Maiden's like 26, 28 years old, and the Sandy Graham is quite old as well. And they're just a couple of pieces of equipment that we no longer need because they're kind of out of date and they're not really worth using anymore. Education plays a key role in anything that we do here in the First Nation. Education is key to or I guess one of the keys to different successes within the community. Without education, we can't really go anywhere, because you want those people with those degrees and that form of background for your community. Economic development is something that I feel very strong about. We're pretty unique being here on the island and actually in one of the hottest tourist destinations in Ontario. We're in central Ontario, and we have a number of people coming here to visit the Great Lakes. They're coming to see the 30,000 islands, and we're right next door. They're our next door neighbors. So with an economic development, I think we should be partnering with local townships and communities in the area to create good employment for ourselves and attracting those people here that have the money to come and visit us here, and we're able to create that kind of stuff. So those partnerships are pretty key in economic development. I think about housing and infrastructure, where we've come a long way from how things used to be. We see a lot more houses being built. We see a lot of things. We have new subdivisions and things like that are all being developed, and when we see our community growing with a major amount of our demographics under the age of 25, we have a lot of families that are in need of housing, and something that needs to be continued. But I also don't see a problem with community members having the opportunity to build their own houses and go out and seek that for themselves, especially if it's right here on the First Nation. It's something that's pretty important. When I think of infrastructure, we're pretty lucky where we are. We have our what used to be state-of-the-art water plant, and it's done a lot for us here in the community. But there's a number of different things that we can I guess continue to do. We need to really get our roads looked at. These issues are ongoing and up and coming stuff. We have health issues and concerns that go with that, with dust and stuff like that, and also environmental concerns, because we do spend money to keep dust control down. Really, what is that doing for us? So that's something we need to look at. Membership is something that's been key in a lot of our things, a lot of our discussions, a lot of my thoughts and ideas, because right now it seems to be we're having a bit of a battle with who's on reserve, who's off reserve, who belongs, who doesn't belong. We really need to talk to everyone and be very inclusive in our membership. because there are people, there are families, there are, cousins, brothers, sisters, whatever. They may not live here, right? They may not have everyday access to the island or things like that, but they are our members. They can access, services and things that we do have here, and it may be for the better. We don't know what's out there. We can attract a lot more people. We talked about education a few minutes ago, and within our membership we have doctors, lawyers, different things like that, and that's our people. That's who we are. So we need to really include membership and really look at what we have. Justice and lawmaking, we're pretty I guess set back when it comes to this, because we don't have things like bylaws. We don't have any form of, I guess, law enforcement that way. I think that's something that needs to be visited by the community, by chief and council, people who make those decisions, because it's something that's kind of lacking here. We have issues with dogs. We have issues with safe places for our kids to play, that kind of stuff. Could be curfews. We don't want any kind of vandalism or break-in-enters, that kind of stuff, or like fights, off hours because people are out walking around. A curfew would be a good example for the youth to abide by, and something that could be looked at within, I guess, this term. We've always had very deep roots with our culture and our language. We're like I said, we're a First Nation community. There's people who look to us now for this kind of stuff. They look to us. They want to have that kind of connection that we have within our community, that connection we have with our culture. We see a lot of our young children who are going through the school system right now really picking up the language. We have kids being awarded through school and through different awareness groups out there, like the language conference that's held annually, where our kids are being rewarded at, right? So it's something that we need to look at when we talk about things, because we have to not let that stuff go away. That's who we are. It's a part of us. And when it comes to culture and things like that, we need to remember that look back at it and remember that's who we are, and we have to always include it. Health, respect. Now I see the word health, and I think of a number of different things, and I see the word respect, and it's kind of hard to sit here and talk about it all in the same, because they're two pretty big topics that could be kept off onto their own and really discussed with everyone. But if we were to combine the two, there's a big thing that I think of, and it's I guess drug abuse is a huge one. And that has to do with both things. It has to do with the health of yourself, the health of your community, and respecting each other, right? So we have to really address this issue, and it's something that's going to be a very high priority for me, and it should be a high priority for our community, because it's an epidemic in First Nations across Ontario and across Canada, for that fact. So I think it's something that we really need to address, and really need to work with our community, because it's going to take the community to work together to get the health issues under control. There's a lot of different things for final thoughts that I could talk about, but one key thing that I don't know if anyone knows who I am, but I actually work with the kids here, most of the kids on the island, and I spend a lot of time listening to them, seeing where they are, what they want to do, and things like that. We sometimes forget that, or I hear the term, the youth are our future. Well, that's not too true. All right, our youth are happening right now. We need to look at our numbers. Our highest demographic being under 25, right? We have 300 youth, I believe, under the age of 18 in the community, right? That's what's happening right now. We have, our youth are going to school. They're going to, going to school for environment, going to school for politics, going to school for arts, that kind of stuff. And we really need to include them in our decision making, and really show what we're about and where we are now.